Hey, are you ready for another exciting edition of The Drive? It is 8 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7. I'm Brian Wilson on this Thursday, September 26th, a day where we're going to start to feel, later today, it looks like, the effects of Hurricane Helene as it starts to, the effects of that start to move into our area. We'll talk about it in greater detail and know what you're up for. We'll explain it all for you. Right now, I want to start off with Kamala's big interview. Oh, yes. We're so proud of her. She gave an interview, something that Donald Trump does about 3 times a day, that J.D. Vance does 4 or 5 times a day. I'm telling you, but, we were supposed to get a lot of really good information out of this. And you know what we got? We got bupkis. We didn't get nothing. What we got was a lot of platitudes and sweet talk and flowery words that mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day. And when you're talking about the economic policies of Kamala Harris, the question is, how in the heck does she intend to pay for all this stuff? She's got a plan for everybody. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. We're just going to make it all. Oh, don't worry. It's going to be nothing but sunshine and roses, and money's going to come streaming in, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, how are you going to pay for that? Oh, I don't know.
If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise.
Well, hold it. We're just going to have to. Well, I mean, there's a very good chance right now, the way things are looking, that the Senate is going to be controlled by Republicans. I don't know what's going to happen in the House, but the Senate's looking pretty good for Republicans right now. So a very good chance that if she were to win, and I hope she doesn't, but if she were to win, she'd have to deal with a Republican Congress. And when she's asked, well, how are you going to pay for it? She says, well, we just have to do this.
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
See, it's all about class warfare with her. She doesn't understand that, corporations hire people, and when you tax corporations, well, one of 2 things will happen. Either they will not expand and build the economy that would be helpful to you, or they'll just leave the country like they've done before.
But everyone should pay their fair share, and it is not right that the teachers and the firefighters that I meet every day across our country are paying a higher tax.
But how do you find that line to make sure corporations are paying their fair share, but they're not leaving our country?
Actually, I'll give Stephanie Rule a little credit there. That's a pretty good question.
Well, listen, I work with a lot of CEOs. I have spent a lot of time with CEOs, and I'm going to tell you that the business leaders who are actually part of the engine of America's economy agree that people should pay their fair share. They also agree that when we look at a plan such as mine that is about investing in the middle class, investing in new industries, investing in bringing down costs, invest in entrepreneurs like small businesses.
She's doing a lot of investing with what money?
That the overall economy is stronger and everyone benefits. Part of my plan for the economy is investing in new industries in a way that we have active partnership with the private sector.
Yeah, that's all a business wants to do, is get into a partnership with the federal government. When in the world have you known the federal government to be able to solve a problem better than the free enterprise market? This is, again, there's a lot of talk about what we're going to do, but there's not a whole lot of talk about how you're actually going to do it. And she did not back down from this insane idea that she's going to go after people for what she considers, I don't consider it, but she considers some of the things that are happening in the economy today to be price gouging, and that the government needs to get in the job of controlling prices.
How do you go after price gouging without implementing price controls? Because once we get in this zone, people start to get worried, and they say, I don't know what she stands for.
So, just to be very frank,
I
am never going to apologize for going after companies and corporations that take advantage of the desperation of the American people.
Well, look, there are laws on the books right now that actually give prosecutors all they need to go after people if there's price gouging. Listens to where she talks about, when she sees price gouging.
And as Attorney General, I saw this happen. In the midst of an emergency, whether it be an extreme weather event or even the pandemic, we saw it.
Well, hold on a minute. There are absolutely laws on the books to do that already. To go after people who take advantage of a situation. Price gouging is not allowed under the law. And yes, she's right. States' attorney generals have gone after people after a hurricane or after a situation where people are in dire need and people take advantage of it. That is not allowed, and people have been successfully prosecuted for that. But what she's been talking about is, well, I think, that the price of this or that or the other is too high. Well, what made it high was not price gouging, but market influences. That happens from time to time, especially in an environment where the economy and inflation are going up so rapidly. When inflation hurts, people at home, it also hurts businesses. She doesn't seem to be able to grasp this simple concept.
Where those few companies, not the majority, not most, but those few companies that would take advantage of the desperation of people and jack up prices. Yeah, I'm going to go after them. Yes, I'm going to go after them.
All right. Well, okay. Again, she that's really not her job if she's talking about things that happen, let's say, after a hurricane. I can guarantee you the Attorney General of the state of Florida is going to be watching real close to find out if anybody's gouging people following Hurricane Helene. That will happen. That's really not the federal government's job. So I don't know what she's talking about, except I think what she really wants to do is to go after companies just because she decides that the price of Blivets, on the market is just too high. So I'm going to go after the Blivet maker. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And that's not right, because a lot of times these prices go up because of real market influences over which people who run businesses have no controls. If it costs them more to make their product, yes, they pass that along. The real criminal here is inflation, which was caused by the Biden administration. Again, well, we can't be burdened by the past. We're not going to do that.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah. Because, you look in the past, and she doesn't want to look back, because everything that has caused our economic situation was actually caused by their economic policies. Here's more on her economic vision. Oh.
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. I have to tell you, I really love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people.
We have ambition. Right.
We have aspirations. We have dreams. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things.
And why is that? Could it have anything to do with the amount of effort they put into it? Or the decisions that they've made in their lives? Or their unwillingness to work hard? Sometimes those are the things that mean you don't get the opportunities. She doesn't even consider that as a possibility, no.
But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, gets handed stuff on a silver platter.
She wants everybody to have things handed to them on a silver platter. And the silver platter is going to be the government. And you know where the money for the government comes from? You and me.
And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions. Which
all right, enough of that. Look, even Stephanie Rule, after the interview, admitted that she didn't really get the answers that she was seeking.
She doesn't answer the question around if the GOP is controlling the Senate, if she can't raise corporate taxes, where is she going to get the money from, to expand the child tax credit and do all the things she wants to do. And she says, we just have to do it. And that's great, and that's a campaign promise. But the issue is, if it means we're just going to borrow again, then what we're doing is we're just never addressing the deficit.
I will say that Kamala Harris has a gift for talking in using very positive words and throwing out platitudes that sound good. It's like all sugar and candy and sweetness, and there's no reality and no substance behind it all. And she has more than a few deep thoughts when she's talking about the economy. Here she is talking about having an inspired spirit.
She doesn't answer the question.
We need to guard that spirit. We have to guard that spirit. Let it always inspire us. Let it always be the source of our optimism, which is that spirit that is so uniquely American.
Spirit.
And let that then inspire us.
Inspired.
By helping us to be inspired to solve the problems.
She's inspired a lot there. and she loves the idea of doing things holistically.
And assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars. And looking holistically at the connection between that and housing. And looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner that includes prioritizing affordable housing.
There you go. Well, I mean, I feel better already, don't you? I mean, it's all sweetness and sugar and honey and everything is rainbow sunshines and unicorns. And of course, she's completely unburdened by the past. That's the other part about it. She is, she doesn't have to worry about, anything that she caused because she's unburdened by the past.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been,
Look, anybody with a working brain cell can see through, this vagueness. Everything is vague. Everything is uncertain. And, we're going to do this, and, we're going to do that, and, yes, we're going to supply you with this, and, yes, we're going to hand it to you on a silver platter. But she doesn't talk about who the hell is going to pay for it. I guarantee you, I know who's going to pay for it. You and I are going to pay for it. And I've had it with all of this vagueness. I hope that the American people are not stupid enough to fall for something that sounds sweet and sugary. Because solving the economic problems of our country is a lot more than handing out a bunch of positive platitudes. I'm already worked up, and it's only 20 minutes into the show. It's 3:20 on Super Talk 99.7. More than ever, you need to hear about this because that if she gets elected, that the economy is just going to go into a tailspin. And the way do you protect yourself may be to get some gold or silver in your portfolio. The U.S. dollar has lost 25% of its value since 2020. The government-induced inflation is stealing your wealth, and it doesn't seem that Washington, D.C. has any plan to stop it. I mean, we don't know how the election's going to go, but politicians promise you the world, but you know how they are. That's why no matter who is in office, gold protects you from D.C. spending sprees. And where do you get that protection? Please reach out to my friends Kyle and Hannah at Nashville Gold and Coin. They will take good care of you and keep you well informed on all precious metal opportunities. Act now and get your shield against out-of-control government spending. Go to NashvilleGoldandCoin.com and set up your appointment today.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hurricane Helene reaches major status hours before she was expected to, and medical marijuana announcement just one state over, coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, I hate to have you give away your after that excellent tease, but what category are we at now?
At Cat 3, Brother Brian, 120-mile-per-hour winds.
And they say that this hurricane could briefly touch up against Cat 4 just before, and then generally as it starts to interact with the landmass, it will come down a little bit. So it probably will come across I guess it's out there on the Panhandle. It'll come across the Panhandle of Florida as a Cat 3. Most likely, maybe a Cat 4. I mean, it's in that pool of really warm water right now. And I was just watching, the satellite photos of how it's just really intensifying now. It's sort of wobbly as these storms go, not a particularly well-defined eye, but a very large storm. It's huge.
Yeah.
And it spreads out all over. And what that means for us is, we're going to start getting some rain from that not long. It's already over in eastern Tennessee right now. It's raining over there, and it will move our direction. 100% chance of rain on Friday, and likely 100% chance of rain on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it starts to clear out a little bit by Sunday. Now, it won't be a hurricane when it gets to us. It'll be a tropical storm or a tropical depression, but it will very likely dump a lot of rain. And by the way, that has impacted the big concert that Dr. Kevin Mitchell and the Wellness Institute was throwing over in Mount Juliet. They have decided to punt on that and to reschedule it for the October 11th. So if you were planning on going to the event that we've been talking about here, know that it has been changed because nobody wants to stand in the rain. And there is all that. So I think we're going to have a lot of rain. It's not a horrible thing in that we really need it, and I don't think the winds and all of that are going to be too much for us. But you definitely need to stay weather aware, starting tonight into tomorrow. Okay, and I also want to remind you about the vice presidential debate watch party that's going on. You just heard a promo for it. Tuesday, October 1st, Dan, Chris, Matt, and I will all be there, along with our friends from Fox Nation. They're going to be broadcasting before and after the debate from Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, right there where we are. So who's going to be there? I don't know, but, there will be some good folks there, I'm pretty sure. And it'll be J.D. Vance, of course, versus Tim Walz on the vice presidential debate stage. And you can get details at 99.7 WTN.com. We hope to see you there. I'll start the show actually about 3 o'clock with the drive. And you know how these things go. I get there at 3 o'clock and, the other guys come moseying in at various times. So whenever they show up, they will join me from time to time, and we'll get through. We'll have a good show out there and a good group. These debate things have been great in that every time we throw one, I get there at 3 o'clock and I look up, and by 4 o'clock, it's more than about 3/4 full. So, come on down early and join us. We would love to have you be a part of what we're doing. And then, of course, the Fox Nation people will be there as well. Hop Springs in Murfreesboro starts at 3, and it goes late. We're going to be going late. I think Matt's going to hang around and do some stuff with Fox Nation after the event. So there you go. A wonderful event and wonderful time will be had by all. Are you guys prepared for rain? I mean, because, we're going to get it.
As prepared as I can be, I guess.
I'm ready for it. Now, that little fat wiener dog isn't, but I'm ready for it. I'm going to make him. I'm going to drag him through it.
Come on out here.
Whether you like it or not.
Get on out there,
It's
Fritz.
just water. You won't melt. That's right. I tell you, I'm still struggling with one thing around here.
Yeah.
I have gone to war against wasps, hornets, and yellow jackets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not very happy this time of year because they don't like the cold weather.
Right.
The cooler weather at night. They don't like it at all. And so they're very angry. And despite my best efforts, I have sprayed the yellow jacket nest in the ground at least 10 times now.
Is this the same one?
It's the same one, and they won't die.
Wow.
I mean, I killed and bunched some of them, but there's still a bunch there.
Interesting.
And so Cabana wife goes out this morning, and she gets up real early and waters all of her plants. She got stung again 3 times.
Oh,
Good
man.
grief.
No, I know. I mean, same insect, I guess, stung her 3 times, she says. I haven't seen the...
And you guys need to be careful.
I know. And the dog got bit, and I'm the only one in the house who hadn't gotten bit yet. And I said, maybe we should water when it's daylight so we can see where the wasps are. But I took out a big wasp nest yesterday and reapplied a half a can of this foamy stuff that you squirt from about 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just drowned that nest, and she just sent me a picture. They're still alive out there.
Maybe you ought to consult that theory on the gasoline down there.
Yeah, maybe that, and then light a match.
Yeah.
All right, 31 past the hour. Time for the news.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now, the Florida Panhandle expecting a direct hit from Hurricane Helene. A storm surge up to 20 feet. Here's FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell during the White House briefing this afternoon.
I just want everybody to know that this is going to be a multi-state event with the potential for significant impacts from Florida all the way to Tennessee. And the president wants to make sure that everyone is paying attention to the potential life-threatening impacts that this storm may bring.
Yeah, a Swiftwater Rescue Team from Tennessee's in Florida to help with Hurricane Helene's search and rescues and recovery. Right now in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear today.
After receiving almost 5,000 applications, I'm proud to announce that today, Kentucky will be issuing its first medical cannabis business license.
Yeah, it's going to go to this outfit called KCA Labs in Nicholasville. It's a safety compliance facility that already tests hemp. Medical cannabis isn't officially legal in Kentucky until January 1st, when patients will be able to apply for their card. Well, they need some medicine on a cruise ship currently out to sea. Alex Stone says passengers are getting sick.
Right now, Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas is on a voyage in Alaska, set to end on Friday in Vancouver, at which time it will undergo sanitation. Royal Caribbean confirms to ABC News 142 passengers and 6 crew members have reported being sick with gastrointestinal issues, including diarrhea and vomiting. Royal Caribbean says rigorous cleaning procedures have been implemented on board.
And right now in Nashville, Metro Police say they arrested a man who's been exposing himself to women for months. The first time was at a Target in Brentwood on July 12th. Then there was one in August in front of a sorority. This man was booked into the Metro jail, charged with 1 count of indecent exposure, 2 counts of public indecency, then released on a $1,000 bond. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the being fall and the things you can enjoy in fall. You can enjoy a good pumpkin spice latte if you're into that kind of thing. And, of course, before long, we'll have the pretty leaves. But it's also a great time to take advantage of offers from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, your Rude Pro partner. If you're looking for HVAC specials, how about a free Wi-Fi thermostat on qualifying new HVAC systems? Now you can control your HVAC system from anywhere. Wouldn't that be cool? Or a free whole home air filtration system with the purchase of 2 or more qualifying HVAC systems, or a new HVAC system replacement that starts at $69 a month with approved credit. Let's talk about plumbing. Busy Bee has a new tankless water heaters as low as $72 a month. Whole home drain pipe replacements as low as $76 a month. And whole home water distribution replacements as low as $85 a month. Here's one more. Whole home water filtration system, $39 a month. Again, all with approved credit. Remember, being a Beehive member is the best way to keep your systems in tip-top shape all year long. For satisfaction guaranteed, call Busy Bee HVAC, your Rude Pro partner, 775-7833, or visit busybeehvac.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
It is 39 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7, Thursday, September 26th. We are watching the Trump Towers in New York. There is a Trump Vance podium and flags in the background, and we are expecting that Donald J. Trump will come out and have some things to say here in the next few moments. It was scheduled to start about 9 minutes ago, but as you know, these things often slip. So we're waiting on that. It may have something to do with some of his court cases. It may have something to do with, well, who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on. And with the Donald Trump press conference, you never know exactly what's going to happen. But we're watching that very closely, and we will go to it. In the meantime, let me give you some 2024 news. This is an interesting story I found in the Post Millennial. Trump projected to take Electoral College by 10%, says Jail Partners Daily Mail election model. Trump is given a 55.2% chance of winning, while Harris is given a 44.6% chance of winning the Electoral College. Now, the latest update, Donald Trump has gained 10-point lead over Democrat challenger Kamala Harris in the chances of winning the election come November. This model calculates its decision based on the latest polling data as well as decades of election results and indicators. The latest updates show that Kamala Harris has the best chance of winning the popular vote. She comes in a 50.8% chance of doing that, and a projected 65% chance of finishing with more votes in the election. However, it doesn't matter what the popular vote is. What matters is the Electoral College vote, and that's where, in this polling, Donald Trump has the advantage. We talked about this the other day, and I thought it was interesting, but here's another way to look at it. The Gallup poll, which came out the other day, really didn't ask people who you're going to vote for. They did it a different way, and they've been doing it forever. And the Gallup polling people are highly respected. I mean, it's a highly historically accurate poll, and they just went out and asked questions about, are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? How do you see yourself? And what are the issues? And I told you the headline was that 9 out of the 10 issues that they ask about, Republicans had the lead in. These were good issues for Republicans across the board. But they look at this story actually identifies one other thing that was in that poll. The Gallup tracker monitors party identification in the run-up to each presidential election. For the third quarter of 2024, Republicans account for 48% of all voters, and Democrats around 45%. That's the lowest figure Democrats have had in a Gallup poll since 1992. And almost always, even in years when Republicans win, more people tend to identify as Democrats than Republicans. So this is really interesting. So many more people are now identifying as Republicans. Now, when you start asking questions about Donald Trump, you don't know whether you're getting the straight answer because some people don't want to admit that they like Donald Trump, who, speaking of right now, has just stepped up to the microphones. Let's listen in.
Is Kamala Harris. When you look at the 4 years that have taken place after being named border czar, Kamala Harris will be visiting the southern border that she has completely destroyed, from what I understand, tomorrow. Why would she go to the border now, playing right into the hand of her opponent? I mean, you take a look at this, why would you do that? There can be no justification for what she's done. There's nobody saying, oh, gee, she's done a fabulous job. She's done the worst job probably in the history of any border, not just our border. She keeps talking about how she supposedly wants to fix the border. We would merely ask, why didn't she do it 4 years ago? It's a very simple question. I can say this with everything she has. She talks about borders and taxes and all these different things. Her policies on tax, by the way, are terrible, but I can say it for everything. Why didn't she fix it almost 4 years ago? She's got no plans, got no talent, got no ability to do it. I'm here today to present you with the facts and only the facts about how Comrade Kamala Harris willfully threw open our border, helping to virtually destroy our country. Our country's never been under siege like this. 4 years ago, Kamala inherited the most secure border in U.S. history, with the lowest illegal immigration on record. You know the chart. I love that chart. I love that chart. I probably wouldn't be here right now except for that chart. Those who violated our borders were captured, detained, and quickly sent back home under the Trump administration. But on her first day in office, Kamala Harris terminated every single Trump policy that sealed and secured the border. She ordered an immediate stop to the completion of the border wall. It was almost complete. We built hundreds and hundreds of miles of wall, and it worked. I always said walls and wheels. Everything else is obsolete, but walls and wheels, and this wall worked. And we were ready to build and throw up another 200. Could have been done within weeks. Everything was complete. The wall was all built, ready to go, laying there, ready to be fixed. All they had to do is throw it up, and you would have had an extra 200 miles of wall, far more than I promised in the election. She suspended all deportations. She instituted catch and release across the entire southern border. And we had catch and release also, but we released in Mexico. Her catch and release was to release in the United States and never see them again. She sent Congress a bill demanding amnesty for all illegal aliens, every single illegal alien, even if they're criminals, even if they're murderers, even if they're drug dealers, human traffickers. She wanted amnesty for everybody. Radical left. This is a radical left person. She terminated Remain in Mexico, something that took me and a lot of talent, a lot of other people, but it took a lot of talent to get from the president of Mexico, a good man. But we got it. You had to remain in Mexico. You couldn't come in under any circumstance. You weren't allowed into the United States until we checked it out, and many people did not come in and were not allowed to come in because they didn't check out. They were drug dealers, they were gang members, they were in jail for murder in a couple of cases. We wouldn't let them in. And she canceled every Safe Third agreement. Anybody here, I think, would know what that is, but that was a horrible thing that she did. And she canceled Remain in Mexico. Here we have something, Remain in Mexico. You have to explain it. She canceled. She ordered ICE to halt the removal of virtually all criminal aliens, including MS-13 gang members. The worst gang anywhere in the world, they say. Evil, evil gang. She ended all of our programs that we instituted to stop child and woman trafficking. The trafficking is at a level now that it's never been before. I had it down to the lowest level it's been in 32 years because we had such a strong border. They couldn't get through. But now it's the worst it's been in 32 years plus. And then she lost, and this is probably the worst statistic of them all, 325,000 children. Think of that. 3.5 years. She lost 325,000 children. And they're either dead, being sold into sex slavery, or just plain missing. Think of the number, 325,000. If that were a Republican instead of her, and she was the border czar, she says, well, I wasn't the border czar, she was. And tomorrow she'll make a case that, oh, she did a fairly good job. You can't say much. You can't justify it. She should save her airfare. She should go back to the White House and tell the president to close the border. He can do it with the signing of just a signature on a piece of paper to the Border Patrol. Instead, she's going there to try and convince people that she wasn't as bad as everybody knows she was. She was the worst in history. Grossly incompetent, weak, and ineffective. And all you have to do is ask Brandon Judd, Border Patrol. You could ask any of them. Tom Homan. We had the best people that we've ever had, and they said Trump was the best president on the border ever. She ripped up every single reform that we put in place to stop asylum fraud. She ended a travel ban that was unbelievably successful. We had the strongest travel ban anywhere in the world, and it was upheld by the United States Supreme Court. She canceled Title 42. That was a medical title. She canceled it, very hard to get. And altogether, she took 93 executive orders that I put on all which made the border the best border we've ever had in recorded history. And she terminated them along with Joe Biden. The worst administration in the history of our country. And on the border, it's not even close. Because of these acts, in less than 4 years, 21 million illegal aliens at least. That's the real number. You don't hear that year. 15, 16. Sometimes you hear 17. The number is at least 21 million. And on top of that, you have gotaways. That's gotaways. That's people that came over or got away. And they've stormed across our border like nobody in history on any border anywhere in the world. There's never been any border in history where you had millions of people storming us like that. No third world country would allow it. But she allowed it because she's incompetent. She allowed it because she never went there. She says she went once, but it was not the right location. It was a location that was very mild and no danger. She never went there. She's going there tomorrow after almost 4 years. She's going there tomorrow to try and show you what a great job she did. But even now, the numbers are terrible. And remember, they're flying people over, and they haven't stopped that. They're flying hundreds of thousands of people over the border right now. They never stopped that. They didn't think they'd be caught, but they were 2 weeks ago. From prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylum, all these insane asylums where you have the sickest people, mentally ill people, and terrorists at record levels. We've never had terrorists come into our country like this. They come, and they keep coming and coming, and nobody has ever seen anything like it. People that go to the border, they look professionals, and they said there's never been anything like this in the history of the world, and they are destroying the fabric of our country. She did nothing to stop any of it. In fact, she encouraged them to keep coming, and you know that. For years she did. Only recently did she say, oh, well, we're going to try and put a stop to it. And I ask again, you know, this should be the why didn't she do it speech. Why didn't she do it? All of these things, including unrelated elements to what we're talking about now, like taxes, like military, like so many other things. Why didn't she do it? She's got plans for the future. Why didn't she do it? She's been there almost 4 years. Kamala created a brand new program to fly in migrants from Venezuela, Haiti, and Nicaragua, and resettle them in American communities, including small towns all across our nation, but in particular in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, and North Carolina. Nobody can believe it. These towns have been destroyed, and the mayors of the towns and the governors of the states can't talk about it because they're embarrassed that they allowed it to happen. In addition, through her phone app, something totally new now, it's a phone app for migrants, where migrants call in, highly sophisticated migrants. She's allowed virtually unlimited numbers of illegals to press a button, schedule their illegal immigration appointment at our ports of entry, and show up to be released into the interior of our country. Can anybody believe this? And they're invading our towns. It's an invasion of our country like no country has ever had to suffer before. And this was purposeful. They did this on purpose. This was not a mistake on their part. They did this on purpose because their policies are so wrong and so evil and so unfair. And there's only 3 reasons they want to do that. Number one, they're incompetent. And I'm not sure that that's the reason. Number 2, they want it for the votes. Number 3, you know what that one is. We don't have to talk about that one. But there can only be a very few reasons. because they're destroying our country at a level that's never been seen before. Importantly, as part of this con job, it's a con job. None of the illegal aliens she is smuggling in through the ports or on the airplanes. Think of it. Big jet planes loaded up with migrants flying into the middle of our country and going to Iowa and lots of other states. They've all become border states. We only have border states now. But they're counted in the Border Patrol statistics. And when you do that, you can add a lot of numbers because they're not taking those counts. They want to have those counts not included in the numbers. In Aurora, Colorado, Springfield, Ohio.
Well, as you can tell, very much on the mind of the president is the issue of immigration, and he's doing a preemptive strike against Kamala Harris, who is going to the border tomorrow. So we're gonna leave that to the newsroom. They will continue to monitor that, but right now it's 56 minutes past the hour. If you want an engagement ring that she'll be proud to wear, there's only one place to go, Genesis Diamonds. Genesis has cornered the market on all the world-class designers. These New York and Los Angeles-based designers are really just the best of the best, and every store wants them, but few make the cut. Well, Genesis made the cuts, that's for sure. They have all the luxury brands, all the ones that women are asking for. So don't settle. Get her ring, get her the ring of her dreams at Genesis, and don't think that you're going to pay more because Genesis has completely ready-to-wear designer rings as low as $1,900. No jeweler can beat the price of Genesis diamonds. Whether you want natural diamonds or lab-grown diamonds, Genesis has the guaranteed best prices and the highest quality. And only Genesis gives you a 120% diamond upgrade guarantee plus free service for life. All this with no commission salespeople, no pressure ever. Nobody delivers for you like Genesis when it comes to quality, value, selection, warranties, or customer care. And get the deal you deserve on your diamond. Genesis Diamonds, and now with an expanded selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hard, fine models are there. Check them out. Genesis Diamonds, 2 locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionality, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything. Bedroom